Hi everyone, welcome to Flow with Jess. Today we're going to do a class for getting grounded and for letting go of anxiety and stress and just a time to breathe and get rooted into our mats. So you can go ahead and come on down. We're going to start you can either come into Sukhasana, easy seat, so crisscross of your legs, or maybe you want to sit up onto your knees. You might bring a blanket or a bolster to support, adding in some extra cushion. You might bring your knees out a little bit wider. You can also sit up onto a block if you have one. And as you come to land here, perhaps you might close down the windows of your eyes if that feels safe, or bring your gaze towards the earth. You can have your palms face down on your thighs. Get really nice and grounded here. And let's start to take a few deep breaths, inhaling through your nose. Exhale to sigh. Keep going just like that. Deep inhale through your nose. Exhale, sigh. Keep going, moving at your own pace, inhaling through your nose and exhaling to sigh. With each sigh, you might feel your shoulders come down your back. With each inhale, you might get tall all the way towards the crown of your head. Exhaling to release, letting your tongue fall away from the roof of your mouth, softening all the tiny little muscles in and around your eyes. Take one last round. Deep inhale. Exhale, sigh. Slowly return to your regular rhythm of breathing, still keeping the eyes closed or gaze down. Then you can walk your hands out in front of you. Bring your knees out nice and wide. Extend your hands, sending your hips down and back. You might rest your head onto the earth or a block. Feel your fingers pushing into the earth. And as you land here, you might invite in a mantra for your practice today. And that mantra might be, everything is temporary. Everything that we experience in our human form is fleeting. The joy, the pain, the anger, the sadness, the good and the bad, it's all temporary. On your next inhale, start to walk your hands up and over towards the right corner of your mat, sending your hips down towards the left. Sending your breath from your left hip bone all the way up towards your left fingertips. Next inhale, come back through center. Exhale, switch sides. So hands come towards the left corner of your mat, sending your weight towards your right sit bone. And then drawing your next inhale from your right hip bone all the way up towards your right armpit and right fingertips, letting your ribs flare. Exhale to sink down. Inhale, come back through center. Exhale, draw yourself forward. And then come into tabletop. So bring your hands underneath your shoulders, your wrists underneath your shoulders, your knees underneath your hips. Root down through your fingertips. Get strong through your upper back. And then your next inhale, draw your heart forward, lift your hips, let your belly fall. Exhale, ground down as you dome and round through your upper back. Gaze can come towards your thighs. Inhale, let your belly sink towards the earth as you draw your heart open, your hips lift. Exhale to ground down, doming and rounding your upper back. Take a few more inhales and exhales through cat-cow here. Inhaling to find your extension. Exhale for flexion. One last round. Inhale, come back through center. And then you might walk your knees back just a little bit. And then inhale, roll forward, drop your hips, broaden through your chest. And then exhale, tuck and round towards a sort of child's pose here, keeping the head a little lifted. Inhale, roll forward, drop your hips, broaden through your chest, anchor through the tops of your feet. Exhale to come on out back to child's pose. Moving with your own breath, inhale rolls you forward, drop your hips, open through your heart. Exhale, child's pose. One more round. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, come back. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, walk your hands forward, lowering your forearms and forehead to the earth, keeping your hips nice and lifted, coming into puppy pose. So hips are nice and high. Forearms are anchored. You can come to your third eye point. Let the earth hold you here. Everything is temporary. Inhale, come back up through tabletop. Exhale here. And then inhale, draw your right arm up towards the sky. Exhale to lace your right arm underneath your left and then walk your left hand out in front of you for thread the needle. Your right ear is on the earth. Your right shoulder is on the earth. You're extending those right fingertips away from your body, reaching through those fingertips so you can feel the activation along your shoulder. Next, inhale, draw your left hand in to root yourself all the way back up, extending your right arm out to the side. Exhale, right hand comes down, left hand recenters. Inhale to switch sides, left hand comes up. Exhale, draw your left shoulder underneath, coming down to your left shoulder, your left ear, extend that right arm out in front of you. This time reaching with those left fingertips as if they are energetically pulling away from you. Feeling this stretch along the outside of your left shoulder. Staying connected with your breath. Everything is temporary. Next, inhale, draw your right hand back in to push yourself all the way up, extending your left arm out to the side. Exhale to land your left hand down beside your right, and then walk your hands out in front of you. Send your hips down as you bend into your elbows, coming all the way onto your belly. And then bring your hands out in front of you so that your elbows are underneath your shoulders this time. And then as if you were energetically pulling the earth, pulling your mat towards yourself, start to ground through the tops of your feet, activating through your quads and your glutes, drawing your chest open. Maybe lift through your gaze. And then exhale, let that go. Bring your arms out wide, coming onto your fingertips. And then bring your forehead onto the earth. So bent 90 degrees into your elbows, rooted onto your fingertips. Push through the tops of your feet, activating from your calves up to your glutes. And then on your inhale, push through your hands, draw your heart open. Root through your feet. Exhale to come down. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale to lift. Exhale, come down. Inhale, lift. Exhale down. And then bring your hands out wide. Bring your hands back into Sphinx. And then draw your right arm across and left arm in front. So you have a crisscross through your elbows here. And then keeping your palms face up. Inhale to lift through your heart. Exhale to tuck your chin. Inhale to lift, root through the tops of your feet. Your base is active. Exhale to draw it in. One more time. And then gently walk your arms out. And then switch sides. So left arm in back, right arm in front, or however, the opposite of however you just were. And then inhale, lift through your heart. Exhale to tuck your chin. Inhale, find your expansion. Exhale, come towards your chest. One last round. Inhale. And exhale. And then inhale, walk your hands out. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Push the earth away, coming through tabletop. And then tuck your toes, lift your hips. Downward facing dog. Take 2 long breaths here. You might pedal through your knees, bending into one knee and then the other. You might send your hips up and back a little bit higher. Maybe you walk your feet out wider. You can keep as much of a bend in your knee here as you'd like. That feels comfortable. Rooting through your fingertips, getting active behind every single finger. Pushing the earth away. Sending your hips up a little bit higher as you sink your heels towards the earth. And the next inhale, you can look forward. Exhale, taking one step at a time. Make your way towards the top edge of your mat. You can dome up onto your fingertips. Once you get there, bend into your knees. Let the weight of your head go. Maybe you reach for opposite elbows. Letting all your stress and anxiety just fall off the top of your head here. Deep inhales and exhales. Maybe let a sigh or two go. And then come back through center, find stillness. Next inhale, halfway lift. Hands can come up the shins or blocks or on the earth. Lower back is straight, gaze is down, shoulders come down your back. Inhale, bend into your knees, revisit your fold. Inhale, root to rise, come all the way up to stand. Wingspan comes wide, hands meet up overhead, gaze can lift. Exhale, draw your hands down towards heart center. Let's take 2 really juicy breaths here. Coming into your intention. Everything is temporary. You can release your hands down beside you, Tadasana, mountain pose. Let your shoulders come down your back on your exhale. Root through your feet. Feel your quads and hamstrings activating. Strong and tall mountain. And then you can bring your hands to your hips, bend into your knees, and take a big step back with your right foot, landing onto your right toes. And then you can go ahead and bring that right knee all the way down onto the earth. Always welcome to roll up the edge of your mat or bring a blanket underneath for some extra cushion. Here, you might draw your left hip back, right hip forward, so a scissoring action through your hips. And then rooting through that front foot and the back foot. Inhale, draw your arms up overhead. Shoulders come down your back, really reaching through your fingertips, feeling nice and rooted through your base as you get extensive and long through your top. Gaze is at one unmoving spot out in front of you. Take an inhale here and an exhale. Next inhale, start to reach your hands forward, extending out of your shoulders, rooting forward. And then exhale, lower your right hand down as your left hand twists open. You might even sink into that right hip a little bit more here. Maybe you come onto the outer edge of your left foot as you open and expand through your chest. Inhale, come all the way back up. Reach through both your arms. Exhale to lower your hands. Come onto the toes of that back right foot. And then spin your right heel onto the earth. So we're setting up for warrior 2 here. Right foot is parallel with the short edge of your mat, bending into your left knee. Inhale, come all the way up and out. Wide wingspan, warrior 2. Gaze over those front left fingertips. Take an inhale here. Exhale to land. Next inhale, you can straighten through your left leg as you reach your hands up overhead. Your gaze might lift towards your fingertips. Exhale to revisit your warrior two. Keep moving just like that. Inhale, extend through that front leg, lift through your hands, lift through your gaze. Exhale to lower. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, everything is temporary. Exhale, everything is temporary. One more round. Take an inhale. Exhale to windmill your hands down, framing your front foot. Come onto the toes of your back foot. And then either by lowering your back knee or keeping that back knee lifted, push the earth away through your hands as you draw your left foot all the way back, plank pose. Inhale, roll forward. Exhale from knees or toes, bend into your elbows, lowering down halfway or all the way. Inhale to lift through your chest, coming into upward facing dog, high cobra, low cobra. Exhale, tuck your toes, lift your hips, downward facing dog. Take one breath here. And then inhale, look forward, bending into your knees. Exhale, you can step, jump, or hop, coming towards the top edge of your mat. Once you get there, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, root to rise. Wide wingspan, come all the way up to stand. Exhale, hands down towards heart center. One breath here. Re-anchoring into your intention. Letting all your stress and worry fall away because everything is temporary. And then you can bend, bring your hands to your hips, bend into your knees. And this time take a big step back with your left foot. Landing onto the left toes, bending into the right knee. You can go ahead and send that left knee all the way down onto the earth. Always welcome to fold up your mat. Find some cushion here, some support for your joints. And then you might think about drawing your right hip back as your left hip comes forward, scissoring action this way this time. And then whenever you're ready, next inhale, extend your arms up overhead. As you do so, you might think of bringing your shoulders down your back. Gaze can come to one unmoving spot out in front of you. Again, fingers are active and pointing like arrows as you root down through your base. Take an inhale to get tall. Exhale, start to reach your hands forward, reaching them all the way out like arrows coming through your shoulders. And then you can lower your left hand down this time as you extend and open through your right arm, twisting open over your bent right knee. Maybe come onto the outer edge, really sinking down into your left hip. Maybe open up even more, reaching back. Next inhale, come all the way back through and then reach your hands up and overhead. Exhale to bring your hands down, framing your front foot, coming onto the toes of your left foot, lift the left knee away, and then ground that left foot down onto the earth so it's parallel with the short edge of your mat. And then bending into your front right knee. Inhale, windmill your arms up and out, warrior two. Really sinking down into your front right knee. Arms are long, shoulders are stacked over your hips, energetically ripping the mat apart between your feet so your weight is evenly distributed. Let's take an inhale here and an exhale. Next inhale, you can straighten through that bent right knee. Reach your hands up overhead, palms meet, look towards your palms. Exhale to ground down into warrior two. Just keep moving just like that. And moving with each breath. Inhale draws you up, straightening through your front leg. Exhale to revisit warrior two. Inhale, everything is temporary. Exhale, everything is temporary. One more inhale. And exhale. Inhale, straighten through that front leg. Bring your hands to your hips. Turn all your toes in so that they're facing in the same direction. You can have your toes slightly in, heels slightly out if that feels okay. Keep a slight bend in your knee. You can bring your hands to your hips. Then inhale, draw your shoulders down your back as you open through your chest. And then exhale with a slight bend in your knees, start to send your chest towards the earth, letting the weight of your head go. Once you come into your wide-legged forward fold, you might bring your hands underneath your shoulders as you draw your forehead towards the earth. You might also reach out, grabbing for your ankles, bending into your elbows as you draw yourself closer to your thighs. Gaze behind you. Taking a moment here to see how it feels to be upside down. Can you find a new perspective on something? Maybe you were just looking at it the wrong way this whole time. Everything is temporary. Next, inhale, draw your hands towards your hips. Take an exhale here. Inhale, halfway lift. Draw yourself up halfway. And then exhale to come over towards the top edge of your mat. Right toes towards the top edge, coming onto those back left toes, framing your front foot, and then either lowering the back knee to come back or keeping the back knee lifted. Push the earth away as you draw your right foot all the way back. Optional vinyasa, inhale to roll forward. Exhale from knees or toes, bending into your elbows, lower down halfway or all the way. Inhale into your spinal extension with thighs grounded or thighs lifted. Exhale, tuck your toes, lift your hips, downward facing dog. Let's take 3 long breaths here. On your next inhale, look forward. Exhale, you can step, jump, or hop, finding the top edge of your mat. Once you do, inhale to halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, root to rise. Come all the way up to stand. Exhale, draw your hands down towards your heart center. And then bending into your knees, start to pour your weight into your left foot. And then draw your right knee up towards your chest. And then go ahead and cross that right leg over top of your left. As you do this, you might even bring your hands to your hips. Think about drawing that same scissoring action, so drawing your right hip back as you draw your left hip forward. Gaze is to one unmoving spot out in front of you to help with your balance. And then you can bring your wingspan out wide, and then bring your right arm underneath, left arm on top. You can reach for opposite elbows like this. You might interlace your hands, binding at the hands or finding prayer. Again, gaze is at one moving spot in front of you. Try to sink the hips down a little bit lower as you lift through your arms. Take one more breath. And then you can unwind your arms, bringing them towards your hips. Lift your right knee into your chest as you inhale, and then exhale, step that right foot all the way back, landing onto your toes. And then again, drawing your right hip forward, left hip back, bend into that front left knee. And then inhale to draw your arms up overhead, high lunge. Take an inhale and exhale here. Think about drawing your ribs in, tucking in your pelvic bowl, rooting through those back toes, keeping the back knee activated as you bend through that left knee. Take one inhale. And exhale, ground through that back foot, straighten through your front leg. Bring your wingspan out wide. Take an inhale to reach forward. Exhale, lower the palm of your left hand in towards your left calf as you extend your right arm up overhead. Trikonasana, triangle pose. Staying tuned into your breath. Everything is temporary. Inhale, come all the way back up. Bring your hands to your hips. Turn to face the top edge of your mat. And then take a step in with that back foot to shorten the stance in between your feet. And then again, scissoring action, left hip back, right hip forward, hands on hips. Take an inhale to draw your chest open. Exhale to fold forward over that front left leg. You might think about drawing your forehead towards your left knee. It does not have to touch your left knee. And you should feel this along the back of your left leg. So if you don't, you might play around with the position of that back right foot. Maybe moving it a little bit out wider, maybe back a little bit further, maybe a little bit closer, so you can really feel the stretch of the back of your left leg. Letting the weight of your head go. And then inhale, look forward. Exhale, step forward, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, hands come up your shins or on the earth. Gaze is down, lower back is straight. Exhale to bend into your knees and fold. Inhale, root to rise, come all the way up to stand, wing wide, wingspan, arms, hands meet up overhead. Exhale, hands down towards your heart center. Take a breath here to get grounded, to prepare for the second side. Everything is temporary. And then you can start to pour your weight into your right leg this time. So getting really sturdy on that right leg. You might even bend into the toes of the left foot, bringing the heel off the earth. And then you can draw your left knee up into your chest and cross your left leg over top of your right. With hands on hips, that scissoring action, right hip forward, left hip back. Gaze out in front of you. And then bring your wingspan out wide. And then this time, bring your right hand on top as left hand comes on bottom. Again, option to reach for opposite shoulders here, or you can bind through your arms, lifting, drawing the elbows away as you send your hips down a little bit further. Gaze on one unmoving spot out in front of you, staying tuned into your breath. Inhales, get tall. Exhales to sit to your edge. And then inhale, straighten through your leg. Bring your hands to your hips. Draw your left knee into your chest. And then exhale, guide your left foot behind you as you come all the way onto the toes of that back left foot. Working towards high lunge. So bending into that right knee, activating the left knee so that everything is active from your glutes down to your calf on that back left leg. And then on your next inhale, drawing your hands up overhead. Exhale to sink into your lunge, drawing the ribs in, pelvic bowl in. Gaze to one unmoving spot out in front of you. Take an inhale, and then exhale. You can ground that right foot, straighten through your front leg. And then bring your wingspan out wide. Inhale to reach forward. Exhale to draw your right palm, back of your hand towards your right calf as you extend that left arm up overhead, drawing that left hip back behind you. Drawing your heart open. Everything is temporary. Inhale, come all the way back up. Exhale, bring your hands to your hips. Turn your hips so that they face towards the top edge of your mat, and then bending into your front knee, bring that back left foot a little bit in closer. So shorten your stance. And then again, scissoring the hips, left hip forward, right hip back. Take an inhale to draw your shoulders down your back, opening through your heart. Exhale to fold forward over that front right leg. Forehead is coming towards the knee. Again, you want to feel this all along the back of your right leg. So you might play around with the position of that back left foot so that you are feeling the benefits of the stretch. And then inhale, look forward. Exhale, bend into your right knee and step forward. Once you get there, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, root to rise. Come all the way up to stand, wide wings. Exhale, hands down towards heart center. Inhale to reach. Exhale to fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands. You can step or jump back, finding plank. Rolling forward from knees or toes, bending into your elbows halfway or all the way. Inhale into your spinal extension, rooting through your hands, drawing your heart open. And then exhale, tuck your toes, lift your hips, downward facing dog. And then everyone lower your knees down. Bring them out nice and wide, toes to touch. Extend your hands out in front of you. Bring your forehead towards the earth. Child's pose. Take 3 deep breaths here. Next inhale, start to draw yourself forward. And then bring your knees in a little bit closer. And then tuck the toes. So tuck your toes so that you're on your toes, and then bring your forehead towards the earth. And then reach back for your ankles or your calves or like anything that you can really grab here. And then see if you can rock your way forward, doming through your upper back. And then send your weight a little bit back further. So inhale, come on to the forehead, dome through your upper back. Exhale to sink. Inhale, come forward. Exhale to sink. And then bring your hands back underneath your shoulders and then start to push yourself all the way up. Coming onto your knees. Or you can come into Sukhasana, easy seat. Inhale, extend your arms up overhead. Exhale to land your right hand down beside you as you reach up and over with your left. Inhale, come all the way up. Both hands reach, maybe your gaze lifts. Exhale, land your left hand down beside you as you reach up and over with your right. Inhale, come all the way back up and reach. Exhale, hands down towards heart center. And then you can slowly make yourself or take yourself all the way down onto your back. Once you get there, draw your knees in towards your chest. You might find a little bit of a rocking motion from side to side. Maybe draw small circles along your spine. And then you can release your left leg down onto the earth. You can either keep the left leg long or you might bend into that left leg. And then draw your right knee in towards your chest. And then keeping your left hand onto your shin or knee, start to extend your right arm out long beside you, and then start to bring that left knee across the body. So you might stay here, maybe you land all the way down onto the earth. You could also bring a block or a bolster or a pillow underneath here. You might bring both arms out wide. Your gaze might come over your right shoulder, your right armpit, a supine twist, just wringing out your spine. Next, inhale, come all the way back through center. You can drop both of your knees in towards your chest and then release your right leg onto the earth, drawing your left knee in this time. You might roll through your ankle and then grounding your left arm down beside you this time, keeping your right hand onto your calf. Start to draw your left leg across your body towards the right. Again, you might bring that leg all the way down onto the earth. You might extend that right arm out beside you once it's there. Maybe your gaze comes over that left shoulder if it feels okay on your neck. Next inhale, start to come all the way back up through center. Drop both knees in this time. Maybe you reach for the insides or the outsides of your feet for happy baby. Finding a little bit of a rocking motion. Maybe see how it feels to extend one leg and then the other. And taking any last little movements here before you make your way into Shavasana. So once you're ready, you can bring your legs out nice and wide, letting your feet fall open. You can bring your arms out wide as well. You might roll one shoulder under and then the other to find a little lift through your chest. You can also bend into your knees here. Like if this is, I don't think I ever mentioned this, but if it's uncomfortable because like, for instance, if you have big glutes like me, sometimes laying flat on your back is really uncomfortable. So you can always stay bent into your knees, kind of lowering your lower back onto the earth. And then you can just bring your feet out as wide as your mat and rock your knees in towards each other so they kind of have a place to rest. And as you land here in Shavasana, start to scan your system, noticing if anything is still lingering or holding on. But give yourself permission to let go of it, to get a little bit heavier here, to feel held by the earth, by your mat. You might Return to your intention, your mantra. Everything is temporary. Remembering that that means all things. So staying present in the good, knowing that it's temporary. Not avoiding the bad because you know it's temporary. It's all working through you, for you, supporting your path. You're welcome to stay here in Shavasana as long as you'd like, soaking up the temporary bliss of stillness. And I will see you all next time. Thanks, folks.